Hello everybody and welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. Today is an exciting one because we are previewing Oxford United's second game of the season against Sunderland Football Club. I don't know why I said football club. We're all football clubs. But it's a very, very exciting one, but a nervous one as well after Oxford United's pretty miserable start to the season against Lincoln, which makes this game even more important. It makes this game look more difficult than it looked when I looked at the fixtures and when I did my fixture announcement reaction podcast. I already said that is a tough second game, but a tough first two games, 100%. But I'm 100% saying right now that because of that Lincoln loss, this Sunderland game for Oxford United, and if Oxford fans are listening in the comments or listening to this, and you can write in the comments if you agree with me, because this game now is more important. I don't think we should say this is the season is on the line. That's too early to say. 2 games in, we're getting way too ahead of ourselves. But I think if we lose against Sunderland today, I think there will be not today, on Saturday. I think there will be that sort of feeling in quite a few Oxford fans that this season's not started very well at all. To lose against Lincoln, which was a disappointing one, and we knew Lincoln was going to be a difficult game, but I think to lose against Sunderland would really be difficult to take, and would sort of show, and it's going to be a real reflection on how we're playing this season. I think we knocked the ball about pretty well against Lincoln, and as I said in my preview, I thought we played. I didn't say we played okay. I said we played pretty horrifically. But I think looking back and on reflection, that was quite a raw, honest, straight after the game, full-time, podcast episode. We've had time to think about it, and I've actually looked at the highlights again. I haven't, I could go back and watch the full game again, but I wouldn't want to sit through that again. So I wouldn't want to do that, but I have done sort of looked at the highlights and stuff, and I do think that at times we knocked the ball about okay. We didn't really create enough chances, and ultimately we didn't. When we did have that odd chance, we didn't really take it. I mean, Sykes had an opportunity. But anyway, we're going too much Lincoln, but you know what I mean. I think we didn't play very well, but we played okay. But we're going to need to take that level, which was down here, not even on the camera. You can't even see where my hand is. It's that low. And take it up here, not even on the camera, because it's got to be that high, because the difference in performance has got to be major. I think we've seen a progression, and hopefully that's the case. I mean, we've seen Lincoln be horrific. We've seen the Watford game. Thank you very much for the support on that episode of the podcast as well. And also, I did say, I keep doing this thing where I go off track, but I did say in that episode, can we get to 70 subscribers? And I will be doing I will hopefully be setting a target. I will set a target for after this episode as well. But we smashed the 70 subscriber. I think we are above that now as well, which is fantastic. And I'm only filming that a day later, so thank you so much for the support on the podcast as well. But anyway, I'm getting completely off the train of thought, but I think that's where Lincoln was, down here. I think the Watford performance was here, and I think Sunderland performance has got to be up here. So I feel like we do need sort of that stage of progression in performance to beat Sunderland, and we've got to be up here if we're going to beat them, because they're a good side. Obviously, they finished open their season with a draw, which I think Sunderland fans against Bristol Rovers. I'm not sure how they feel about that. I'm not really sure how good Bristol Rovers. I haven't seen their game. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch that, or actually I haven't even seen the highlights, which is pretty unprepared from me. But we know that Sunderland are a good side. I predicted them second. I don't think that 1-1 draw at the start of the season does sort of reflect so much. Bristol could be up there this season. Who knows? I think I predicted them about mid-table, Bristol. But they could have one of those seasons where they do push up in the promotion playoff spots, and in the grand scheme of things, that's not a bad point for Sunderland, because there's no home or away advantage, of course, which obviously looks like it's going to change this weekend, with the addition of 1,000 fans on selected games in League One and across the EFL. It might not be across the EFL. I think it might be League One. I know it's League One. I'm not sure if it's in the Championship or League Two, which is positive. We're not one of them, Oxford, but I'm pretty sure there are definitely some teams and some games across this weekend in which fans, or 1,000 fans, are allowed back into the ground, which is good. A nice little test and a good step in the right direction for football fans, for sure. But in terms of Sunderland and the game that we're about to approach ourselves on Saturday, I'm recording this on Thursday, and it should come out on Thursday. I think we've got a real test on our hands here. I think we are in a real area now of the season, right at the start, where every game, we want to get off to a good start, and we didn't get ourselves off to a great start against Lincoln, and we want to put that right now. it's a good opportunity to do that against a fantastic side like Sunderland. I don't know how well they played, like I said, but they are a good side. They're going to be up there this season. They're desperate to get back into the Championship and eventually back into the Premier League. They're a huge side, and they've got to be up there. They are a massive, massive side that should not be in League One. I've made a mistake on the podcast a few times where I've sort of said this side, and I did say against Watford. If you're listening to this again, I don't know whether you are. It was a Watford fan that in the comments was sort of saying how I said that Watford should be in the Premier League. They're a big club with great players, and he actually replied respectfully and everything. But he did come back and say, look, we're not actually a big club because behind closed doors we're run by by people that aren't really winning and haven't got the ambition to get back into the Premier League. And and that's things I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of other clubs' is sort of behind closed doors and the board situation and the sort of running side of the football club. I sort of just look at it as Watford because they're a team that in the Premier League for years, and they've dropped down, and they've still got some really good players from what I see. I know they've lost a few, like obviously Decore just gone to Everton, but the way I look at it is I think they've got a decent amount of players. I mean, you've got Sarr, I believe he's still at Watford. Deeney, of course, is still at Watford as well, but that's only two, and I look at the team as well, and I respect those fans that come in, and that's what I love. That's what I love about this podcast as well, speaking to other fans. So I appreciate that if you're listening. I don't know if you will be, because you probably wouldn't be interested in Oxford United Sunderland preview, being a Watford fan, but I appreciate that, and thank you very much for the support and letting me know as well. Thanks for listening, because I did not know that. So if that's the same with Sunderland, I'm not sure. But from what I do know is I think Sunderland do have that ambition and admiration to get higher up in the divisions and get back into the Premier League, ultimately where they belong at that size of football club. Obviously, I watched the documentary on Sunderland. I was generally inspired by that documentary. I thought there was an absolutely unbelievable documentary, Sunderland Until I Die. I'm pretty sure it's still available on it's Netflix, I think, isn't it? I was really, really impressed by it. Really thought it was a fantastic documentary and really showed the inside running of a football club, and obviously specifically Sunderland in that case. But I thought it was really good in terms of really giving that real insight into how Sunderland is run. So I think Sunderland are going to be up there. And I apologise for sort of running off track. But it's a podcast. It's not it's not a YouTube video. I mean, it is a YouTube video, but it's not we're not I don't really want to. It's not going to be a 10-minute video. We're going to just go bang, bang, bang. I'm going to speak about things as a podcast. So that's what we do here on the Young Fan Podcast. We just talk things football, and today is the Oxford United versus Sunderland preview. So we're going to just chat about Sunderland. Apologies if that's not what you want, but that's just what we do around here on the Young Fan Podcast. But I think that is where Sunderland want to be. I think that's what Sunderland have that ambition to get to be. Hence why I put them second. I put them into that automatic promotion spot. And they are certainly going to be a tough game. In terms of Oxford United's availability and things like that, it's a must-win game. I mean, injuries, as far as we're aware, that's very bad English. As far as we are aware, Taylor is fit. Obviously, we knew he wasn't available for selection against Watford. Obviously, he picked up a minor knock, I think it was, against Lincoln. So it's going to be very interesting to see if he's available. You should have my predicted lineup to your right. I think my left on the screen. So I have literally picked, I've picked the same team, the one that I predicted against Lincoln. I don't think it was. I think I put Clare in the lineup against Lincoln, and he didn't. He actually played Sam Long. I mean, Clare's going to have to play, and so Sam Long. So I'm pretty sure that back line is correct in the predicted lineup, hopefully anyway. There's some question marks over some other positions, and we'll come on to that in a minute. But I'm pretty sure that back line is pretty much confirmed and pretty much solid and set in stone. Hopefully I've got that prediction right. But Sykes looks like he should be fit as well after he sort of faced a knock as well against Lincoln, but should be available. Goran's obviously still out. Winner was a doubt even for the bench. It sounds like Ruffles, of course, as we know, is out for up to a month. Massinho is, of course, out as well. We haven't really got information about that. We just know it isn't a great injury, and he could be out for what I believe could be months. However, Accent is available, which is good news after that rescinded suspension. So I think we're in a position now where we've got a few players coming back for selection. Hopefully that Taylor is fit. I know Carl Robinson does like to sometimes say that they are sort of should be okay for the game, and it comes out that they're not actually available for it. Obviously we saw that about Gorin. He did obviously say that he was going to be 100% fit, and then he sort of had a further scan and a further sort of look at him with the medical staff, and it looked like it was going to be a month. So hopefully that's not the case for Sykes or Matty Taylor. It shouldn't be, from as far as I'm aware. That we probably would have found out by now if it was. So hopefully Taylor and Sykes are available for selection. If not, I think we are sort of a little bit confused with the options go up front, of course, in the striker position, because if Taylor's not available, Winner's not available, and Osai obviously played 90 minutes of football in midweek, it would have to be Osai probably playing up front against Sunderland, which we wouldn't mind, of course. Quite a frustrating player, Osai, in terms of he can do something unbelievable. And some of the things sort of missing some chances, it is a little bit frustrating, but I wouldn't mind having him. I think he's a really, really good option, really, really handy, but a lot more to come from him. But considering he played 90 minutes of football on Tuesday, getting the old days mixed up, on Tuesday, it does tend to sort of sit with me that he will not be playing, or will not be starting anyway, against Sunderland. It looked like Taylor will be available. Hopefully that's the case. I probably would prefer Matty Taylor to play against Sunderland. In those sort of games, you do need that sort of leadership, and Matty Taylor certainly does offer leadership going forward as well. He has that experience going forward, 100%. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully having Taylor back up front against Sunderland. So that looks like that's sort of the injury situation, and the predicted lineup is to your right on the screen right now. If I scan through there as well, I'll go through it anyway, just in case you're not completely familiar with the numbers. Obviously, with the recent new season number change, I've put Eastwood in goal, Sean Clare on the right, Moore and Axton two centre backs, Longy playing left back, Kelly in front behind McGuane and Brannigan, Sykes on the left, Taylor going in through the middle, and Henry on the right. Sykes, of course, that could be interesting. I mean, it's a bit of a situation at the moment, isn't it, with Mark Sykes? Does he deserve to play in terms of game? That is a bit of a debate. Does Sykes sort of deserve to play? Robbie Hall had a fantastic game in midweek. Joel Cooper had a great game in midweek as well, but they both played 90 minutes, so it is suggesting to me that, considering they played a full 90 in midweek, is sort of suggesting that I don't think they will be playing or starting against Sunderland, which I guess goes either way, because, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because off performance, I think I probably wouldn't go with Sykes. I think Sykes did need to offer a little bit more. I apologise if I'm being a little bit harsh. I thought maybe he played okay against Lincoln, but I think going forward he didn't really offer us that much. I think Ford was really good in centre midfield. I understand that obviously Ford probably won't fit into that lineup in midfield, but you could potentially do something like playing Henry in the middle potentially. And send Ford out wide. I don't know, or put Ford in the middle instead of either McGuane. But I wouldn't want to do that. I don't think it would. Do you just do a straight swap for Ford and Sykes? I don't know. He played very well in midfield, in centre midfield, in that central area against Watford. So it's difficult, isn't it? But I probably wouldn't play Anthony Ford. I think he is a midfielder, centre midfielder, and we've sort of got those positions. In terms of on paper, we've got our main three that we are looking to stick with, or our main four, I guess, with obviously Kelly coming instead of Gorin, but our sort of main centre midfielders. But Ford's great to have. The utility man he's got and the areas he can play are great. I think he does deserve a start, but it'll be interesting to see if that happens. I doubt it will. I've gone with the three that are on the screen. You're right, with obviously McGuane, Brannigan and Kelly, but it could be interesting. You could see Ford play, but I can't see that happening. Robbie Hall obviously wasn't even named on the bench against Sunderland. I think he definitely should be named on the bench on Saturday, because he had a fantastic game. I don't think he could have done much better, to be honest with you, for a player that wasn't even on the bench against Lincoln. I think it maybe bringing him on against Lincoln maybe could have been a shout. He offers something for sure, and he definitely showed that against Watford with a great goal. And obviously, with how he was going forward and what he was creating, I thought I was really, really, really impressed with Robbie Hall. So I think maybe he does deserve to play, but he played full 90, which, you think he'd maybe, rest him, and if he was going to play him. Cooper, obviously, I'm guessing, I know he's obviously trying to retain that match fitness, get back into match fitness, of course. He went out on international duty for a few weeks, or just a week, I think it was, wasn't it? And that's the phone going off. for a week in international duty with Northern Ireland. Didn't actually play a single minute, which is frustrating. So, that's it. So, obviously, he's still trying to get match fitness or whatever it is with Oxford and pre-season. What am I talking about pre-season? He spent the whole pre-season, training with them before season and during the season. Obviously, with that international week off, he didn't get that. So, I doubt Cooper will play either. I think Cooper will play a lot of games this season. I think he will be part of that front three of Taylor, Cooper, and Henry. I think that will be the three. I think Sykes is great to have. I think Sykes can offer on his day and can be a fantastic asset to Oxford United Football Club. I just think Cooper probably will be playing long term in that front three, but who knows? Sykes could have a world against Sunderland, and hopefully he does if he does play. But obviously that's not completely confirmed that he will be available because of his fitness. But hopefully he is. He wasn't obviously named in the squad against Watford, so maybe he's obviously just being completely rested, and hopefully he is. So that's sort of a situation, the debate there. Should Sykes play? Should not Sykes play? I personally think he will play. Obviously that's my predicted lineup, but I think my predicted lineup is also a case of prediction and who deserves to play and who I want to see play. I think Sykes will play, and I want to give you a predicted lineup. I want to give a lineup. I want to get it right, obviously. So I think Sykes will play. I don't think Ford can play on the right anymore. On the left, so where Sykes plays, I think he's a right back / centre midfielder / right mid, right winger, whatever it is, in either which of those roles. But I think I don't think a left. I think that might be stretching Anthony Ford. I think Robbie Hall played really well down the centre against Watford. He could potentially play out on the left. And it could be a case of Henry having to be sacrificed out on the left, but he doesn't tend to do very well down there. And obviously playing Robbie Hall at right could be interesting, but I'm not too sure about that. Cooper would play down the left. I think that's good. And obviously, but I doubt that will be the case. I'm pretty sure he's still trying to rest him and get him ready, but he should be on the bench as well. Obviously, when Winnall comes back in, the debate will be who gets the bench spot. Obviously when Robbie Hall comes in to the bench, which I'm sure he will be, because we've got quite a few players not going to be on the bench. Obviously, Ruffles won't even be on the squad. Of course, Massinho won't either. Winnall obviously won't be, nor Gorin. So there are spaces for the bench to be filled. I think Robbie Hall certainly does deserve one after not being available being available, but not being put on the bench against Lincoln, so not available to play. But I definitely think he should be, because I don't think he could have done much more. I obviously watched Carl Robinson's interview after that game. He was really, really happy with that performance against Watford. He said that Anthony Ford was his man of the match. So, you've got to look at it like that. He was really impressed by Anthony Ford. And I think we all were, that Anthony was really, really good. Does he deserve a start? Does he not deserve a start? Leave a comment down below and sort of give your idea for it as well. That's the main preview. I'll do my predictions as well. And feel free to please do leave your predictions down below as well. I'll be responding to all of them and give you reasons why as well if you would like to. If not, just stick your predictions down below. It's up to you. Also, if we can hit 80 subscribers, is that a stretch for a preview? 75 subscribers would be really, 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 really nice, and that's a way of showing your support, and it's much appreciated. But obviously, thank you so much to everyone listening to the podcast. I understand. It's unbelievable to just have people listening to the podcast and listen to me talk about Oxford United and the world of football. It's an unbelievable feeling, and I'm really, really happy and really, really excited for the future of the podcast, and hopefully you're excited for it as well, because it's going to be a really, really good one, and the season's simply only just begun. So thank you very much for your support, obviously, but I wouldn't, I'm just so enjoying it. It's only because you are listening to it as well. That's another reason why I'm enjoying it, because I understand that you guys are enjoying it as well. So leaving a like's another way of showing it. Keep up to date with all the stuff by going on the Instagram page and following the Instagram page, which is the Young Fan Podcast. Just literally the Young Fan Podcast on Instagram, on Twitter as well, at the Young Fan Podcast. Sorry, it's not called that. It's at _podcast on Twitter as well. That'd be great if you could follow that on Twitter. If you didn't catch that, then it is in the About section on there as well. But it is at the _podcast. No, it's not. I keep messing that up. It's at young _podcast. Sorry, I keep messing that up for Twitter. If you didn't catch that, because you probably didn't, because I got it wrong 4 times, it's in the About section there as well. But it's simple on Instagram. It's just at the Young Fan Podcast. Slightly different on Twitter. If you can leave a like on this episode of the podcast and subscribe, like I said, if we can get to 75 subscribers by the end and before the match preview. This is the match preview for the match review, which is either going to be on Saturday night or midday on Sunday. because I am. I don't know if I'll be able to get it out on the same day as the actual game on Sunday. Hopefully I do. If I don't, I apologise. It'll be on Sunday. Either way, though, hopefully you can come and check it out, because I'll be definitely giving you an honest review on the podcast, an honest and open discussion as well on what you think of the game as well. And also, after the games, it'd be amazing if you could sort of DM the Young Fan podcast and give your sort of thoughts on the game as well. Or tweet them on there as well if you found the Twitter. But yeah, DM is probably the best way of doing it. If you could DM the Young Fan Podcast Twitter, I'll go through all of them sort of after the game, straight after the kickoff, because I won't be doing it. I doubt I'm probably going to film it on Sunday and get it out on Sunday. I might film it on Saturday and get it on Sunday. I'm not sure, depending on the time, but. Just DM me straight after the game and give your sort of thoughts on it, and I'll read them out and sort of discuss them. I think that'd be really, really cool. A cool little idea for what we could do. So yeah, if you would like to get your thoughts of the game out, and we can discuss them on the podcast, match reaction on either Saturday or Sunday. Just DM the podcast Instagram and just let me know, and I'll speak about them. That'd be great. So yeah, really, really excited for that. Really excited for the game. A little bit nervous, of course, after the opening day defeat, but we got to crack on. We got to get positivity against Sunderland. It's not going to be an easy game, of course. My match prediction is going to be, and I haven't written it down again, really good preparation from myself. I'm going to go with Oxford United 1, Sunderland 0. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win. I think we're going to get a 1-0 win. It could be a draw, but I'm going to go with the win. I'm keeping positive. I'm keeping that positivity in the Oxford United world, and hopefully I'm right and we do get the 3 points, because they're much needed 3 points. If you're a Sunderland fan watching this as well, thank you very much for coming on to the preview as well, and feel free to come on the match reaction as well, and you can give your thoughts. Well, also, yeah, DM the Young Fan Podcast Instagram if you're a Sunderland fan as well, give your thoughts on the game as well. I'd be really interested to see the different thing. I'm a little bit biased to Oxford, of course I'm an Oxford fan, but I'm really willing to see different suggestions, and I won't be biased, or try not to be biased, if you give your suggestions as well. That would be great and really, really interesting as well. I'm sure that'd be interesting viewing for you watching this as well, which is fantastic. Thanks very much for listening to the preview of Oxford United versus Sunderland League One on Saturday. It's been great speaking to you all here on the podcast. Hopefully you have a good rest of your week. Have a good Friday. Have a good rest of your Thursday if this comes out on Thursday, which fingers crossed it does. It should be. Have a good rest of your Thursday. Have a good Friday. And I will hopefully see you Saturday or Sunday. So I will see you later. Thank you very much and goodbye.